The drivers of OSR Truck Series get ready to take on Bristol Dirt. Qualifying is already wrapped up and we're into our first heat race of the night. As these drivers get ready, 10 laps here to determine their starting spots. Everybody's gonna make the field tonight. We had just the right amount of trucks show up, so everybody's gonna have an opportunity to race this evening on, I tell you what will be a very interesting Bristol racetrack covered in dirt. Thank you for tuning in to the SRN tonight. I'm Sean Fitz. We appreciate you being here. The top 5 for this heat, as they're gonna looks like we should be getting the green here in just a moment. They'll have 10 laps. Cautions do not count. However, the heat will only last 15 minutes. Jeremy Holbrook, Scott Formosa, Baron Tomasevic, there we go. It is top 3. Pace track is gonna be off, and Holbrook is gonna get a rolling. He's starting on the pole of the first heat, and green flag is out here for OSR Trucks. Heat 1 racing at Bristol. Pretty wild here as we see the 07 truck get caught up. I believe that was Zach Myers. He's gonna fall through the field there after getting involved in that incident. There's still 3 wide back here. In the 6 truck, riding on the outside, you see Casey Hay take it to the bottom, making a move there. He's gonna advance a couple spots. In the meanwhile, these drivers are just trying to hang on. So these quick trucks, we've got somebody turned sideways back. Oh no, we've had a moment with iRacing, there we go. Look to be back there, but looks like everybody's kind of mellowed out quite a bit. Running single file right now, and the 2 drivers up front, that's Scott Formosa, Jeremy Holbrook, side by side here with 7 to go during Heat 1. Got a lot to cover here. I expected the server to take a little bit of time to flip, otherwise we would have had a moment to chat about the format. But nonetheless, these 2 leaders fighting side by side here with 6 laps to go. This is all for starting spot qualifying. Determine what heat you belong in. The top 10, or the top 2 for qualifying advance their way in and cautions out. So a note here we've got to remember, is a bunch, as these drivers come under slow up as cautions out on the racetrack for the first time, and they get caught up with the pace truck, is the fact that cautions do not count. So these drivers will have these will be able to finish this race under green flag conditions as long as they complete the race within 15 minutes. Let's take a quick look here at what potentially brought that caution out. That may involved Wes Gilland, as our scoring system is trying to get caught up without these laps counting. It looks like it may have been the 50 truck. He swung that truck hard to the left, and the 01 just gets him looped around. Casey Hay may have made contact there, but otherwise, Wes gets that truck rolling back in the right direction in the early going. Nonetheless, caution's going to be out for the first time tonight here at Bristol. Jeremy Holbrook going to be our leader. So again, welcome to the broadcast, the Truck Series OSR Dirt action for the first time this season. Right here on the Sim Racing News Network. As I mentioned, I'm Sean Fitz along with the drivers of OSR Truck Series here. A special night for these drivers as everybody out of their element a little bit and racing on something non-concrete. I know there was a lot of practice leading up to this race tonight. A lot of drivers looking for opportunities to try to find pace and figure out how to get these trucks around this very complicated half-mile racetrack, even when it's got pavement, let alone a bunch of dirt packed on it. And these drivers are going to have to really work for it here tonight to try to bring home a solid finish. You see the top 10 running order there. That's Jeremy Holbrook, Scott Formosa, that 01 truck of Tomasovich, Wes Gill, and Casey Hay in the top 5. They're getting ready to go back green flag racing. The Pace truck is going to duck down pit road here in just a moment. Again, green flag laps do not count. They will be racing all of every lap up until the 15-minute mark. So this session only has, it's probably going to have another 8 minutes or so before they get, until it declares the session over and the running order will be determined.
Hang on, we're not going green.
And it looks like the caution is actually going to be, or the green flag is going to be delayed one single lap here, as these drivers are working to sort out the running order. Looks like Wes Gilland is going to fall back quite a bit on the outside. That may be due to the delay, that may be the reason for the delay, is we're getting delayed here once again, and precious time getting chewed up off the session clock again. 15 minutes heat races, only 10 laps, and these drivers are making their laps pretty quick. Just under the 20-second mark, so this session could be over fairly fast with these heat races, but under caution, spending these valuable minutes here, pacing Bristol as we get ready to go back green flag racing. Up to 4 heats tonight for the truck series, and then we'll take on the feature where 35 trucks will race. It is going to be a wild show with the full field on track. You're not going to want to miss it, so make sure you get buckled in, tuned in, ready to roll. This is going to be a wild night of Bristol dirt racing right here on the Sim Racing News Network. We should see the Pace truck duck down pit road as they come out of this turn right here. Jeremy Holbrook will bring it back to the green flag. You see him on the outside line. And there it is. The Pace truck's going to duck down pit road. That 29 truck's going to get a rolling green flag back out. 6 to go in Heat 1. Jeremy with a solid start. The rest of the field back here fighting for some spots. Relatively uneventful so far. Everybody got rolling pretty clean. No drama. In the meantime, it looks like Casey Hay has worked himself up to second place there. He's on the roll. Oh, I'm gonna squeak out and shut the door on, who is that? Is that Nicholas Casey? That is. That's Nicholas Casey shutting the door on Casey Hay. A lot of Caseys going on in the top 3, top 4. In the meantime, Formosa is caught up with Holbrook. 2 to go. Holbrook is rolling that outside. He's been doing it all night long so far in this last couple laps, but Scott Formosa making hay on the bottom, making some moves. They're side by side for the lead. White flag is out. Can Holbrook hold him off? Formosa did not have the room to get the drive into the corner he wanted there, and Holbrook's gonna pull away. Holbrook's race to win. Formosa's gonna try and hang on to second place. It's side by side as they come across the stripe. Formosa scores second. Nicholas Casey third. Casey Hay is gonna score the top 5 there. And nice move as this Heat 1 is gonna be wrapped up here at Bristol. And these drivers are going to work their way, they're going to reset the session, and here we go. Here is heat number 2. Another 16 drivers get ready. Again, this is all for, this is all going to be, this is all for racing positions in the feature race. So everybody tonight will make the field for the first time this season with OSR for all 3 major series. As these drivers get ready to go back green flag racing here in Heat 2. Britt Van Meter, Britt Van Meter, Steve Whitmore, George Smoller, Scott Kane, and Scott Hobson rounding out the top 5. And just like that, Heat 2 is already rolling here off the grid. Britt Van Meter in that 27 truck. Steve Whitmore, he's picked up a lot of pace over the last couple weeks. He's starting outside row 1. Then you got Justin Smolin and Scott Kane in row 2. Again, a lot of these drivers have been putting in some effort, been putting in some practice. I'm really proud of everybody who stepped up and tried to run really hard here to try to figure out the pace of the truck in nearly a full field. I believe we were 1 or 2 trucks short, and that's saying something on a track that a lot of drivers are unfamiliar with. And the setup is a fixed series setup. So this setup was iRacing built when the track was released, and unfortunately, a couple of these drivers have just had a hard time trying to figure out how to get around here. But tonight, they're going to have to overcome all the obstacles and try to bring home a victory on Bristol Dirt. Britt Van Meter, Steve Whitmore on the front row. Green flag is out. Heat 2 underway. Up front, Whitmore just cruises along there, driving deep into the corner. That's going to give Britt Van Meter an opportunity to get back alongside him, side by side for the lead. 2 very distinct lines here as Van Meter takes the bottom of the track, looking for the shortest way around this speedway, and he's going to get clear of the 70. Whitmore is going to get into the bumper of the 27. They're able to keep it clean. And Britt Van Meter, your leader right now of Heat 2. Let's take a little bit of a deeper look back through the field. This is where things get real sporty. Everybody side by side back here. This is Tim Likens and co. All trying to hang on to that track as the track is really starting to change. In the meantime, Justin Smolin is getting by Steve Whitmore. As Britt Van Meter is set sail a little bit, 0.6 of a second now in front of the second place truck. Steve Whitmore, he's in some trouble with that outside line. It's not rolling the way he wants it to, and Smolin's gonna be on the bottom. Smolin's gonna slide up across the nose of the 70 and get clear of him. 6 laps to go. Whitmore's gonna switch it up, try to run the mid of the track. Not gonna work for him. Smolin's gonna be clear by a truck length going down the backstretch. Here comes Kane in the 56 truck. He's also looking to try to get by Whitmore here with 5 to go. No pressure right now for Van Meter. He's running a relatively clean race. He found the bottom of the racetrack and it's worked for him. Now he's moved up right next to the cushion as this track is ever evolving. He may be in a little bit of trouble here though, as Smolin has picked up the pace and closed the gap. Now down to 0.2. With 4 to go, can Van Meter hold him off? Steve Whitmore has moved to the bottom. That is a new line for Whitmore. And he just ran his fastest lap of the race. Sliding in, you see him really turning that truck in early and letting the truck drive up there. That corner washed up a little bit, and he's going to lose a lot of pace to Smolin now as 3 to go. Van Meter back out front, 0.4 of a second, trying to hang on to that lead. Smolin, he's nearly driving the, big check up there as Van Meter gets 2 high jumps the cushion. Here comes Smolin underneath him. New leader, Justin Smolin with 2 to go. Clear by 2 truck lengths. Final lap here in Heat 2 at Bristol. Van Meter dominated 8 laps of this race, and Smolin drove away. With 2 to go, he's going to lead the lap that matters. Justin Smolin, winner Heat 2. Van Meter, Whitmore is going to be in the top 3. Kane and Hobson are going to be your top 5. Not a bad run, ran caution free there in Heat 2 at Bristol, getting ready for the feature, the OSR Truck Series feature tonight here on the SRN. We appreciate everybody tuning in, and just like that, our qualifying order has been set, and we're going to go through a 5-minute warm-up session before we get ready for the feature event here under the lights at Bristol Dirt on the iRacing service. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Sean Fitz, getting ready to call what is going to be a fantastic feature race for OSR. We're going to step away for just a moment and get ready to call those laps. In the meantime, you can enjoy some a little bit of warm-up action as we're going to go non-stop with the trucks here at Bristol. You're watching the SRN. And just like that, the feature is getting ready to kick off here at Bristol Motor Speedway on the Sim Racing News Network. 67 laps, getting ready to go green flag racing here at Bristol as these drivers get grid up one more time, one final time on the grid. And you know, we didn't really get a chance to talk about it too much, but qualifying happened prior to those heat races, and Scott Jensick and Chris Hockley were the two fastest drivers there, with Hockley scoring that pole position. Both of them were locked in and did not have to secure their spots through the heat race. And those two drivers were locked in onto the front row. Justin Smolin, Jeremy Holbrook rounding out the row two. Britt Van Meter, Scott Formosa, Steve Whitmore, Nicholas Casey, Scott Cade, Casey Hay rounding out the top 10 as we get ready to go green flag here. A little bit of a change in format during the feature event tonight. 67 laps, caution laps will count. So these drivers will have to get it figured out, because they will lose precious time under caution, or precious laps under caution, and lose the opportunity to get it done here tonight. And 67 laps are going to fly by here. These drivers have been taking this racetrack in sub 19-second lap times, so these laps are going to fly by. Speaking of Chris Hockley on the pole, I want to take this quick opportunity to thank Hawk Dizzle Design and that company Chris Hockley runs for everything he has done over the last couple seasons, or for what he's done this season specifically, being a premier sponsor of Ohio Sim Racing and the SRN's efforts to broadcast these races week over week up all the way through the summer months. You want to find out more information about Hawk Dizzle Design, which I encourage you to do, head on over to Facebook, do a search for Hawk Dizzle Design. We should see the pace truck jump down pit road this time by Chris Hockley. Chris Hockley, I'm sorry. Sean Jensick getting ready to bring it on home, and the green flag is out and the feature's underway. 67 laps are green at Bristol. Sean Jensick is rolling that high side all the way against the wall. It's going to be a 3-wide battle for the lead, lap one. Chris Hockley was in the middle of that. And Jeremy Holbrook was able to take away the lead. Oh, and the 14 truck's going to get turned off the nose. That's going to affect Steve Whitmore in the one truck. There it is. Caution's going to be out for the first time. Britt Van Meter is unfortunately caught up in that. Wes Gilliland and others. Several trucks. George Smoller wrecking. And the pace truck's out. See the 33 involved there. It also looks like, as I mentioned, Smoller involved. That truck is beat up. The 23 truck. Take a look here. The 23 truck of Carl Phillips is smoking pretty heavily. That's going to be pretty terminal. As I mentioned, George Smoller is down on power as well. And they're still trying to get those trucks under control. And caution's going to be out. Let's go back here and take a look. I believe this all started in the third place. It did. As you see it right there, as that truck gets turned off the nose of Chris Hockley, and then everybody has nowhere to go. Van Meter gets spun around. That engine blows. You see the 15 truck gets into Van Meter as well. And Van Meter's just stuck there facing the opposite direction, and he's going to have to tow. And unfortunately, I believe that'll be the end of the night for the 27 truck. Nearly winning that heat race, and Smoller's having problems down pit road with that truck boiling over. Again, the way the pace truck came out here, that left a couple drivers behind it. We'll see how this cycles through as Jeremy Holbrook, Sean Jensick, Scott Formosa, Nicholas Casey, Casey Hay is rounding out the top 5. Again, under caution for the first time tonight here at Bristol on lap 5. These laps are counting towards the feature count, so everybody is losing opportunities here to make passes, and you're gonna need it. You're gonna need a lot of time to get this track sorted out, and these drivers are gonna want to get in their groove. If you're unfamiliar with dirt racing, this track and the dirt tracks in general evolve over time. These drivers and these tracks are going to change every single lap, and the line's going to change, and the grip is going to change, and you're going to see them shine over. And that's not necessarily rubber. That is just the track drawing out and the grip going away in those areas as you see it, like right there where Holbrook's driving through in the 29. The track's really dark right there. That is a prime example of where the track is going to start drying out. And these drivers are going to chase that line up the track more and more. They're going to lose more and more grip as the night progresses here at Bristol. And that'll be the big thing, is everybody's going to be searching for a spot to put their trucks to help them put the power down and get around this half-mile racetrack. Looks like all the near lap down trucks, the ones that were bogged up when the pace truck came out, they're going to get put back on the lead lap, and Holbrook and Sean Jensick are going to be the drivers in the front row here. As the pace truck lights are off, it looks like the league admins have called a single file restart. So they're going to do what they can to keep this clean. Pace truck's going to duck down pit road. Holbrook's going to get a big run here. Green flag is back out. He's got a 5 truck car length lead now. Clean start up front. Did you see Casey Hayes really working the bottom of the racetrack there, trying to make up a little bit of ground? Not only is that the shortest way around the track, but he's found some grip for those front tires. The 3 truck rotating on by. He's moved up to 4th. Relatively clean now with Chris Hockley, our pole sitter, back there with the 14 truck. Those 2 drivers got together in the early going and brought that caution out. They're still side by side. Chris Hockley, one of the drivers I think was most looking forward to this race tonight, unfortunately not going to have the finish he probably wanted. Some major nose damage on the 1 truck. Everybody's mostly got it sorted out. We go back up front, and Holbrook's still out front, but Jensick on the move. Put together the fastest lap of the race right that last time by a 19.47. And the caution's out once again on lap 11. Let's go take a look here. I think this involved Brandon Thomas a little bit back in the field here. And that KTM 8 truck. Brandon had a relatively clean truck here. Oh, and it looks like it may have been, oh, he may have got collected. He did get collected and nosed in, and that 8 truck, that 8 truck's gonna be done. That's unfortunate. That truck was a mostly clean car so far, and he unfortunately got turned there. Let's take a look here and who may have caused that. I believe that's going to be Robert Barber getting into Brandon Thomas and unfortunately ending Brandon Thomas's night. He had to tow back to the pits, and that's going to be it for the 8 truck. KTM driver not off to the night he wanted to have, because I think he was another driver looking for what could be a great run here tonight at Bristol. Behind the pace truck for the second time tonight on lap 13. Again, to thank everybody for tuning in to the feature race here for OSR Dirt action this week. You can also check us out on Sunday night. No Xfinity, they're off this week, but the Cup Series drivers are going to get ready to take on this place as well. And those fields have been very stout. It'll be really interesting to see the subs and who's going to work what driver into what seat and try to put together a really competitive program here on Sunday night. For more information how that format's going to work, get on over to ohiosimracing.com, and certainly do not want to miss a lap of action, and you won't do that if you're connected with the Sim Racing News Network. We go live around 8:15, or I'm sorry, we go live around 9:15, 9:10, and then yeah, you won't miss a single lap here. So 9:10 Eastern, 8:10 Central, right here on the Sim Racing News Network on Sunday night. Again, under caution for the second time tonight. Holbrook, our leader, Jensick running second. That driver was also showing a little bit of pace tonight. He'll be somebody to keep an eye on here as we'll get ready to go back green flag racing. Scott Formosa's worked his way up 2 spots since the start, running third. Our biggest gainer in the top 5 is Casey Hay, the driver of that 3 truck. I tell you what, Hay tends to persevere when the going gets tough. Dirt tracks, or I'm sorry, road courses especially, but we're seeing a little bit of flash of pace here from Hay. He's in the top 10. See what he can put together. Hayes truck's gonna duck down pit road. And Holbrook gets rolling here. And the green flag is back out. Big jump there by Holbrook as Formosa takes the high side. That's gonna put the 85 all the way down on the bottom. He's not gonna make any gains as Casey Hay is continuing to drive forward. He's outside the 86. Oh, and he's gonna get contact. Whitmore's gonna get by. Here comes the 1 truck as well. Casey Hay is losing spots. Whitmore is out of shape. He's able to hang on to it. Chris Hockley's back in it here. A lot of wild racing out back. As Rusty, sorry. Wow, Rusty Arthur has that truck hung way out. As these drivers are fighting for critical spots here. 18 laps in. Oh, and Casey Hay turns Steve Whitmore. And the caution's gonna be back out. Let's go back and take a look at that. That was wild. We seen Whitmore and Casey Hay be real close there. I'm almost certain. Oh, Whitmore actually turned himself, and then Casey just caught a little bit of it. And then Rusty Arthur smacks that 70 truck hard. And then it looks like there's another truck down there at the bottom of the racetrack also affected. And the caution's back out. Holbrook still your leader after 20 laps. Sean Jensick, Scott Formosa, and Nicholas Casey and Casey Hay. Casey Hay fell a couple spots there through that whole transaction, but actually got back up to 5th before the caution's out. I will say, kudos to that 1 truck of Chris Hockley. Started on the pole tonight. Got tangled up with a 14 truck early. I'm sorry, that's not the 14 I believe it's the 14 truck. Anyway, he got tangled up with a truck early. That was the 34 truck, I do believe, of Justin Smolin, who got him and Hockley got involved. And nonetheless, Hockley's drove right back up there, currently showing in 6th place. Not a bad run for Hawk Dizzle in that 1 truck. Lap 21. Jeremy Holbrook, your leader. We're going to step away for just a moment. You're watching the Sim Racing News Network. Pace truck's gonna get ready to duck back down pit road as they go back green flag racing on lap 24. Jeremy Holbrook. Sean Jensick are back on the front, still in the front row. Tell you what, that 21 truck may have something for him here down the pipe as Holbrook gets rolling. The rest of the field doesn't though. Casey Hay takes evasive maneuvers down on the bottom. That got wild. Casey Hay trying to make some passes before the stripe there. In the meantime, they're going to be 3 wide for 5th. That's going to be, man, that's just pretty much everybody right there from 4th on back. That's Nicholas Casey. That's Kane Smolin. And a couple others really just full sending it here. In the meantime, our leader, Jeremy Holbrook out front, minding his business. He's broken away 1.3 now over Formosa, but here comes Casey Hay. He's up to 3rd. Oh, big contact with the wall, Nicholas Casey. That's going to give the 4T truck an opportunity to look underneath him. Not going to be able to make the pass. Jensick has fallen behind a little bit. You see him there. Oh, somebody just took a ride. That's going to be the caution's going to be out once again. That was Scott Formosa. I knew that was a driver in the top 5. Let's go back and take a look. Oh, Scott was out of shape. And was on the bottom of the track and then got onto the inside door. And then looks like somebody else made contact there as Formosa goes around after running in the top 5 and the caution's back out. And Holbrook getting some pretty great restarts here. A couple of these drivers need to figure out how to manage that. Casey Hay is up to 2nd. Nicholas Casey's running 3rd. Justin Smolish on Jensick rounding out the top 5. Under caution here for the 4th time tonight as we're approaching halfway. Again, these caution laps not counting for these drivers. So they will have to, unfortunately, lose laps of green flag racing here. League admins made it adamantly clear that they wanted to do everything they can to keep the racing relatively clean. We recognize, they recognize that this racing style is not for everyone. And some folks may be unfamiliar with it, and that's okay. Wanted to still put on a great show here at Bristol, and so far I'd say they've accomplished that. As you see that 56 of Kane, a little bit of left front damage, a little bit of right rear damage. That truck's, I don't know, it may be driving a little bit of slant now, but Kane keeping it comfortably up near the front, currently running 6th. These drivers getting double backed, or getting back double filed. They're ready to go back green flag racing. You see the pace truck lights are off, and that's a signal to them. They're getting ready to go back That's the signal, 1 to go. They're going to go green flag racing next time by. Holbrook has been getting some amazing restarts here, but Casey Hay in that 3 truck has worked his way up front. Let's see what he can do as the green flag is going to be back out. And Holbrook, not as clean of a start as he was been getting. Oh, and Nicholas Casey tries to slide up above Casey Hay. Not going to be able to make anything happen. Jensick, that's going to bring him back into the picture. A lot of close contact racing happening right here behind the 3 truck. Still side by side, you see Smolin there, Nicholas Casey on the bottom. Nicholas making contact with Smolin once again there as Casey's been struggling with the handling of that 86 of the last lap or 2. And here comes Sean Jensick on the outside. Oh, Sean Jensick gets put into the wall. They're going to be 3 wide, 4 wide right here coming across the stripe almost. Casey tried to get it under control. He's going to make contact with the wall again. Jensick's going to be right there, 3 wide. Greg Olnick's going to make contact with Jensick. Everybody gets settled back in a little bit. In the meantime, here comes the 1 truck. Out of nowhere, Hawk Dizzle still running in 6th. Everybody keeping it relatively clean as the 34 gets into the left rear of Casey Hay. In the meanwhile, let's take a look back out front. 2.5 seconds now over Casey Hay is Holbrook. Oh, he had a little bit of a getting into the wall there. He's going to lose 3 or 4 tenths. In the meantime, Casey Hay hanging on to that 2nd place spot mid-track. The 34 running a lane above him. See if Smolin will be able to get up there in the late going. You see Jensick there, that 21 truck, no longer the cleanest truck in the field. He's got a lot of right side damage. You look right behind him though, Chris Hockley. That driver, again, our pole sitter, got caught up in an early race incident. He has worked his way back into the top 5. Oh, big, oh, that's Tim Likens, the 01 truck, Steve Whitmore, and a couple others involved, and that's going to bring the caution out. I believe that also may have included John Chappell. Let's take a look. Yeah, the 35, he gets spun around here. This is actually a separate incident, but he's going to make hard contact with that inside wall. That 35 truck may be done for the night. Back live here at Bristol, well past halfway. Lap 41 to 67. Scott Holbrook, your leader. Casey Hayes running second. Justin Smolin, Sean Jensick, Chris Hockley is rounding out the top 5. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight's Ohio Sim Racing Truck Series feature event here at Bristol Dirt, kicking off a week of dirt racing for these drivers. Xfinity is on break this week. However, next week, the Cup Series, or sorry, later this week, on Sunday night, the Cup Series drivers of OSR take on Bristol Dirt. We will be covering that in all of its glory here on the Sim Racing News Network at our normal times, 9:10 Eastern, 8:10 Central. You certainly do not want to miss that. Did we have a little bit of a moment here under caution? Let's take a look. iRacing told me there was a big moment here, and there was a big checkup by the 23 that got the 15 involved. John Sears also involved. That truck looks like it's been for a ride tonight, and all this happening under caution. And Holbrook, in the meantime, has found the safest place to be out front right now in that 29 truck. Under caution for the 5th time tonight. 25 laps to go. Holbrook, your leader. We're going to step away for just a moment. You're watching the Sim Racing News Network. As I mentioned, the pace laps are counting here in this feature event, and they're quickly ticking down. They're gonna go back green flag with 23 to go. Jeremy Holbrook, Casey Hay on the front row. Holbrook has been getting some solid restarts, but not as great there this time. As Casey Hayes right with him. Green flag back out. Shaw Jensick on the high side. They're gonna make it 3 wide coming down the stretch. Chris Hockley on the bottom. Oh, and another caution's out. Looks like a couple drivers in the back may have had some problems here on this restart. May have begun with a 55. Let's take a look. Oh, no, the 78 got turned around across the 55. Then the 97 has to slide in there to it as well. This racetrack conditions, or the race conditions, and the racing type is just, it's hard to adapt to for a lot of these drivers here with OSR, and I can't say I blame them. Certainly safer up here in the booth than I feel like I would be on track. But a lot of beat up race trucks here with 21 to go. Nonetheless, Jeremy Holbrook out front. He has been nailing these restarts, and that may very well be a part of the secret to winning here tonight, is the driver of that 29 truck. Now, has some pretty strong pace, and nobody's really been able to get back up there to fight with him. But these last 2 restarts have not been as strong as we've seen him have. Casey Hay is up 7 spots right now since the start of the race, and Hay, he's looking mighty impressive in the 3 truck. The 34, he's been back and forth all night. Smolin now up to 3rd. Jensick is running 4th right now. Again, that truck is that truck looks a little too worse for wear. He's beat up on all corners. All 4 has dents in them. Tell you what, though, somebody that we've got to give an honorable mention to is the 1 truck of Chris Hockley. Started as our pole sitter, got spun around early. He's raced his way back into the top 5. Let's see what the 1 truck could get done here in the late going. Pre-race during the practice laps and the warm-ups, these drivers are really struggling with handling with these trucks, trying to find something that worked well for them. You're seeing a lot of drivers who put in a lot of effort, unfortunately, see their nights ended prematurely due to incidents that may have not have been in their control. And then other drivers having a really solid night and probably didn't expect it. Pace truck lights are off. It looks like league admins have determined this is going to be a single file restart. They made it clear that if they can't make it more than a couple laps after a restart, that they would single file it out to give everybody some room. 18 laps to go. We want to get as many laps of green flag action in the books here. Casey Hayes going to move up a little bit on the bumper, the 29. Holbrook has been getting incredible runs. Can he continue it? Restart underway. Green flag back out. Shaw Jensick actually really took it low there into the 34, looking for an opportunity to get underneath him. And, oh, the 34 making big contact into the wall. Jensick back to the bumper. The 34 making contact with the wall again. Jensick's going to follow him up there this time. Hockley is going to be right in the middle of a 3-wide situation. He's able to slide out of it. This is hard racing here for back there for the top 5 spots. In the meantime, Casey Hay is on the move, trying to run down Holbrook, who has been untouchable so far here tonight. As everybody is starting to move up to the top line. You see Nicholas Casey there trying to hang on to that 56 truck. Zach Myers is working his way back up through the field. after getting spun around about 20, 30 laps ago. And just like that, 4 laps are in the book since the restart. And let's take a quick opportunity to ride on board our leader tonight. And Jeremy Holbrook as he rides the top here at Bristol. See our leader make contact with the wall a little bit there, but he's still driving away from the rest of the field. Holbrook right now out front, over 3 seconds with 11 laps to go. As they suffer through, or they start to, not suffer, but they work through some lap traffic. Casey Hayes comfortably in second. Justin Smolin running third. Everybody's pretty much just kind of found a line to try to run and be smart here in the late going. You see the one truck of Chris Hockley must have had a big moment because unfortunately he's lost some spots. And he's working his way back up through the field here as the one truck, he turns down the corner and gets inside the 56. Oh, and Hockley really sending it sideways. But he was able to reset the truck there. He's actually going to get clear. Chris Hockley back up to 7th with 8 to go. Sean Jensick rolling the outside very well. Zach Myers, though, is saying he's not going to be done tonight. As he got caught up with an incident a little while ago. And the caution's going to be out here for the field. Well, 7 laps to go here. We see some several drivers involved. Looks like Tim Likens may have had a piece of this. Let's take a look with Likens on the outside. Oh, the leader collected him. Holbrook full sent it in there, spun the 14. That may have race-winning implications. As we go back live and you see Smoller there under smoke, but it's our leader. Really drove that truck in. The 29 truck may have some right front damage after he gets into Tim Likens. It's going to be anybody's race. We're going to go back green flag racing with about 3 laps to go or so. Could be a wild finish here at Bristol. We're going to step away and get ready to cover that as we go flag to flag and nonstop right here on the Sim Racing News Network. When that caution came out, we said that would be that could be race winning implications for the driver of that 29. And as you seen right as we stepped away, he went down pit road. Casey Hay is now up front in your leader. The 29 truck, it most likely will not be his night. And Casey Hay inherits the lead here with 3 to go. The pace truck's gonna duck down pit road. This is gonna be a wild finish here at Bristol. And Casey Hay gets them rolling. 2 laps to go. Hay's got that truck all sorts of out of shape. Here comes Zach Myers on the outside. In the meantime, the 34's out wide. They're 3 wide for 5th. Here comes Chris Hockley on the outside. Casey Hay is able to hang on. Can he get to the start-finish line? Oh, big stack up on the front stretch, but the white flag is out. Casey Hay out front here. The 34 truck in striking distance. That's Smolin. Myers is right there as well. Can Casey Hay hold him off? 2 more corners. Casey Hay and the 34 side by side. Smolin's gonna win. What an incredible finish here at Bristol Dirt. As Justin Smolin able to drive around the outside and make it happen and bring home the victory here on the Sim Racing News Network. Casey Hay is going to bring home a 2nd place finish. Zach Myers driving all the way back up to 3rd. Scott Kane and Robert Barber credited with top 5s tonight. Holbrook drove all the way back to 10th in 2 laps. But nonetheless, Justin Smolin's going to be the winner here at Bristol. We're going to step away for just a minute and get ready for some post-race coverage right here on the Sim Racing News Network. We talked about it earlier in the broadcast, and that finish was going to be wild, and it could be wild finish here tonight at Bristol, and that certainly lived up to the expectation as Justin Smolin now in victory lane. Justin, congratulations on that win. Talk to us about the closing lap. There was a big stack up as you came to 1 to go, and it looked like you really had a plan to make that outside line work all race, and it just finally fell into your hands.
It absolutely did. I was shocked I was able to get the outside line. I thought for sure the 3 was going to take the outside, but he did get a good jump. He had me covered after that first corner, and then he went down low. I just stayed high and hoped for the best.
Justin, this track was ever evolving tonight, and obviously with the cautions, it limited the opportunities to make some passes under green flag conditions. from a driver's perspective, it was in and out through a couple different spots there tonight. Where was the best place to be, and ultimately, looking back, was there anything you could have done differently in the early going to kind of keep a hold of that lead later?
3 and 4 high line is where it really started to come in. Unfortunately, with all the cautions, it's hard to get any kind of pace. So everyone bunched up. It's hard to run any kind of high line or even low line or mid line, whatever line you want to, when everyone's, just going for it. But once we got all spread out, it was actually a good race.
Well, Justin, a strong run tonight and ultimately leading the lap that mattered. Congratulations on the win tonight here at Bristol Dirt.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
And with that, we'll move on over to Casey Hay. A heartbreaking finish tonight. He saw the 29 truck duck down pit road and then inherited the lead. And as Smolin got as Smolin mentioned, got a really great start on that restart. But Casey, it looked like the bottom line just didn't quite hook for you there in the last lap.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I didn't like running it too high. I wouldn't mind getting my rear tires in it a little bit, but I'm not a big fan of using that wall at all. I know it doesn't really slow you down that much, but my goal was to race clean, and really was a good race. And, Justin had that run. I felt like I could have drifted up and blocked him, but like I said, a good clean racing is what I'm here for, and that's how we finished. It was awesome.
Casey, that truck, you mentioned, clean racing, and that truck was one of the cleaner trucks left in the field tonight. What was the strategy to try to work your way through the field, but also just keep that truck in decent shape for the end here?
The biggest thing for me is just looking ahead, looking as far up the track as you can when you get in the corner. Try to pick your line before you get in there, and you can kind of gauge where you need to be based on everybody else. That's really the trick. Is if you're looking right in front of your car, you're gonna run into trouble pretty quick.
Casey Hay bringing home second place tonight here in OSR Truck Series Dirt at Bristol. Casey, congratulations. We're going to head on over to Zach Myers in that FTR 07 machine, and that truck up 32 spots on the night. Zach, where do we even begin in that 07 machine tonight, working your way back up to third?
Just like Casey said, you got to watch ahead and pick the right line, and just kind of try to pick off as many as you can here and there and be safe most of all. Almost got tangled up in a couple of them and kind of put us back to 26th at one point and drove back up.
And Zach, we talked about it during the broadcast that dirt racing is may not play into the forte of some of these drivers here with OSR. And we've seen that 07 truck be pretty quick this season, and you've made it happen both on pavement and dirt. What can you credit the success you found tonight here in driving that truck up to third?
Kind of just picking the different line, and with our home track with throttle control is kind of really important there. So that played a lot into trying to get the bottom to work a bit better for me.
Zach Myers in that FTR 07 bringing home third tonight. Another strong run. Congratulations, Zach.
Thank you.
And with that, we're going to wrap up coverage here tonight on the Sim Racing News Network at Dirt Bristol for OSR. It has been an incredible night, and I tell you what, I think a lot of people had some apprehension of heading into Bristol tonight, but it played off, or it worked out well, paid off for a couple drivers, and unfortunately didn't pay off for some others. We're going to get ready throughout the week to go cup racing on Sunday night right here at the Sim Racing News Network, and the last great Coliseum with dirt on top of it as the OSR Cup Series drivers get ready to take on Bristol Sunday night, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, right here on the Sim Racing News Network. On behalf of everybody with OSR, I'm Sean Fitz and the Sim Racing News Network. We'll see you Sunday night for Cup action. Have a good night, everyone.